Hello everyone, thank you for responding to the poll on YouTube. This is going to be Axum and Shuttle. So I'm going to develop a project in Axum and then ultimately we will deploy it to Shuttle if all goes well. What I've done is started a new repo and I've committed it to Codeberg rather than GitHub. Very similar, free to sign up, register. It's a Git repository, so it still uses the same Git commands. GitHub is not the only way of using Git. What we've got here is the main repo, which is the first one. And then I don't know why they're not in sequence, but that doesn't matter. So we've got part 1, part 2, part 3. So this is the very, very boilerplate version. And then with P1, you can see from the comments the progress. So with P1, I added the logging info to the code. P2, we added test, which uses HTTPC. And then using part 3, we start to move on to, let me try and remember what I added in part 3. Let's look at the code. I started adding tracing subscriber with the logging info. So far so good. Let's just explain what the purpose of this is. So I'm going to write this, what I would call in the traditional Rust Axum way, and then ultimately we will progress to using Shuttle. And Shuttle is where you can deploy your Rust code free. I think they give you 3 free projects which you can run. Underneath the bonnet is actually Docker containers running on AWS, but you don't need to know that. They've got some great tutorials as well. So if you go to shuttle.rs and they guide you through setting up a basic Axum project. But what it also provides you is basically a very quick and easy way to deploy databases as well, adding a database in Axum, which we may well get onto doing. I do find, especially with an older laptop, running Docker with Postgres and so on, it just slows the machine down. And yeah, Docker is just, it's not my favorite thing, but there we go. So you can run the Postgres actually on the Shuttle deployment, and they do basically all of the setup and configuration for you. So you don't have to get sidetracked trying to remember how to edit a Docker Compose YAML file, which I think is good. So right, let's go and look at the command line. And what I want to do is just demonstrate something which I didn't really know about, but Cargo generate. This is what I need to do actually first is cd. So I've made an empty directory. I thought I had. No, I haven't done that yet. So I need to make a directory. Call it YT YouTube demo gen for generate, because I'm about to show you. What should we? If we go to main, I'll use the boilerplate main repo here. And I'm in source, so let's just go up one and copy the URL. And then if we do cargo generate, and then paste that URL, what it'll actually do is it'll, fingers crossed, yeah, it uses that repo, but it uses it as the boilerplate for a new project. So it's going to update the project name in the Cargo.toml. So let's call it Axum from, I'm going to delete this anyway, so this is just for demo purposes. And what you can see is it's taking a project name, it's generating a template, initializing a fresh Git repository, new project created. So if we go to Axum from, it's used dashes instead of underscores. Not that it bothers me, but right. So if we just do tree -l, we'll just let's do 3. You can see it's created the project structure. Probably this was not the best one to show because this is pretty much the basic project structure. So anyway, if we go to cd/srs view main, you see that it's got our boilerplate Axum, which is this is the same as the repo on Codeberg, which Codeberg, GitHub, GitLabs, whichever, take your pick. So what it's done is basically it started a new project and imported the code. But what it means is if you've done this, if you'd just done git clone, when you make any changes, you'd be trying to push them back to the original repo. Whereas Cargo generate has actually created you a new project. And then if I was to do git push here, it wouldn't work. I don't think because I wouldn't have the you need the remote. So I'd need to just go back to Codeberg, and then I would need to set up a repo called Axum from generate, and then I could push this project to Codeberg or to GitHub or to GitLab, and you would have a brand new project. You wouldn't be trying to push back to the original, which is great. So yeah, Cargo generate is really cool. So let's just go back and if we go to part 3, because that's my progress so far, which is then I need to go. No, so part 3. Okay, this should do it. So I need to check out part 3, don't I? Git. Let's just do clear. Git checkout. You're on a branch yet to be born. Oh, because I need to do git init. So that's actually just that has right. Okay, so when I did cargo generate, it used main. You can see I'm in main here. In actual fact, what I should do really is once I've finished making parts 1, 2, and 3, I should merge them to main anyway. So when I have my boilerplate code, it will actually be the latest up-to-date version. So yeah, you can ignore that. What I would be doing really would be, or I could set part 3 to be the default. But that's getting into the world of Git, which that's not the purpose of this video really. So yeah, very quickly, when you deploy to, let's just show you pricing. So I think this shows you what you get for free. So 3 projects, start a database, 20 deploys per day, 1 day's log retention, community support. To be honest, even if you had kind of 1 customer, that would pay for the pro version. So custom. Okay, there's no price for that. So what you actually do is you do cargo install shuttle, I think. Get started. Cargo Shuttle, yeah. So in the Cargo Shuttle CLI can be installed with pre-built binary from source with cargo or with the install script. There's the install script, which will just curl. It'll fetch the script and then it will run it with bash. So yeah, Linux, Mac, Windows, and then Cargo Shuttle login. So you will need to log in, and you can log in with your GitHub or other auth credentials. I've already logged in and I think it's saving my credentials. So in order to install Shuttle, run these commands. So you do cargo install cargo shuttle, then you do cargo shuttle init, which obviously starts the shuttle process in the back service in the background. And then once you've got a project to deploy, you do cargo shuttle deploy. So if we do this here, cargo install cargo shuttle init, Do you want to name your project? It will be hosted. Just choose something unique. Okay. Let's think of something really random. Let's call it monkey faced. Where should we create this? Where should we create this project? Take the default. Target directory is not empty. Shuttle works with a range of frameworks. Which one do you want to use? Choose Axum. Claim the project name monkeyface by starting a project container in Shuttle. Yep. This is where it's okay. Your project will sleep if it's idle for 30 minutes. So if we go back, let's see what we've actually got. Let's just do a refresh. Monkey faced is there. You can see it's already pushed it up. So I need to just now do cargo shuttle deploy. Okay, so they weren't committed into Git. So let's do allow dirty. Okay. Initial commit. I'm just going to try cargo shuttle deploy again. I think it's going to. Okay, this is where I need to allow dirty. Allow dirty. There we go. This takes a while actually. So if I had my old video editing machine, I would probably fast forward through this, but hopefully, because this is such a tiny project, it won't take too long. Meanwhile, I will just tell you what we will get once it's up and running. We should get our kind of hello world. It'll be published at monkeyfaced.shuttle.rs URL. And if you wanted, for production purposes, you would then be able to point your DNS. So if you had a domain name, you could point it at that, I believe. I've not looked into that yet, but I think that's how it would work. It is installing an awful lot of things. I can't remember how many Axum installs. I think is Axum, if you just start like a basic Axum project, I think it's about 149 crates it installs. There we go. So monkey faced version 0.1. I think that's running. So if we go back to here, refresh, and running, yeah, and then you get kind of like the progress here. Shuttle deployed successfully, and there's the URL. So if we go up to there, paste that in, it should do a GET request too. Yeah, hello world. So monkeyface.shuttleapp.rs. If you watch this video later and try, it may not come up because I think this gets put to sleep after 30 minutes. It said so. Whether you bring it back out of sleep by visiting the URL, I don't know. That's you'd want it to, but I don't know if it does. There you go. Service name, status, running, URI. No resources linked to the service. So that's a very, very basic Axum deployment using Shuttle. So this is out on the internet, publicly accessible. So there we go. I'll put the links to my code on Codeberg and what we've covered so far. We've covered the start of my project, which has numerous different branches which you can step through. I'll just recap on the branches. So the branches involve the boilerplate code, which is main, which is actually the first. Maybe that's back to front. And P1 is where I added the logging info. P2 is where I added the tests, and then P3 I had tracing, and I forget what else I did on part 3. But part 3 is kind of the most complete. Oh yeah, I added the info messages and I added the tracing info, and yeah, there we go. So that's basically your boiler. This is for Axum 0.7, so it's recent. If you're watching this in the future, then yeah, apologies for any discrepancies and check the latest documentation and all that. So thanks for watching. If you like these videos, subscribe. So part 4, I might do a poll for this because I don't know whether to do kind of like a to-do app with databases or whether to do something with JSON, or I could even do something with digital signatures, but I may well do a poll for that. So keep an eye on the channel. Please vote. It's really cool having you all vote because it kind of helps me get a feel for what's of interest, and yeah, it gives me some sort of motivation as well to keep going with all of this. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Thanks.